So today, Streetwise Tennis, we're going to be talking about the Continental grip and how I feel it's the most important thing in tennis that you should know and you should be doing. If you are not doing it, yes, you are playing tennis. Yes, you are enjoying yourself. You're getting all the benefits of tennis, maybe some side effects that aren't so good, maybe some frustration levels that maybe you don't have the shots higher level players have, or your level is just stagnant. And most of the time, I feel it's the lack of continental grip on all your shots or some of them. So let this point stick with you. Hopefully it does. The continental grip is for every shot in tennis except the forehand. And if you're old school enough, your forehand can have a continental grip if you hit old school tennis, early 80s, 70s. It was mostly continental grip, forehand, backhand. So, with that said, recreational players, maybe like yourself, maybe like your friends, they hit with forehand grip. So when people just start playing tennis, instinctively, intuitively, they grab a racket, they grab it in a way that the face logically makes sense with the brain to accomplish the job of getting the ball back over the net. This usually puts them in an Eastern grip. So, what is an Eastern grip? I marked my hands with these two marks here, and I marked my racket with these two marks here. So you have a flat bevel here that coincides with the strings. On the opposite side, of course, you have a flat bevel. So this is the widest flat bevel on the racket. These are the edge, a little thinner, and around here. Then you got a little bit thicker. Second thickest is on the true edge, which coincides with this edge of the racket. So why is it shaped like that? Well, it's shaped like that so that players could instinctively, with feel, find their grip without looking. Just like a guitar player could play guitar and fret without looking at their hands, because they have a feel, they have muscle memory through practice and technique. Same thing with the grip. You see players at ready position at the net going like this. They're not looking at their hand to find a grip. They instinctively know how to find their continental grip. So I could spin my racket 100 times here. Let's see if it goes on the, so right there, as you can see, I spun my racket, I found my grip, my line coincides with this. If I'm a little off, this way, that way, I'm in the ballpark. That's okay. You're going to be in the ballpark. It's better than not being in the ballpark. What's the difference? Why the continental grip from the Eastern grip? And there's also semi-Western and full Western, which is more extreme. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe in another video. But the Eastern grip, the big palm knuckle right here, I marked it with a dot. Lines with the flat bevel that is aligned with the strings. So this is an Eastern grip. Roger Federer uses an Eastern grip. He does pretty well for himself. I use an Eastern grip. I call it a neutral forehand grip. It's not extreme, and it'll get the job done. So from here to there, the change, boom. Right there, boom, boom, boom. Now this little range, which is probably a 1/4 inch motion, maybe a little bit more than a 1/4 inch. It's not exact science here. Saying, well, that's not much. You know, from here See, that's off to there. How could that make such a big difference? I would say body mechanics. So let me explain to you the body mechanics. So, in the Continental grip, also known as the hammer grip in some videos, I like to call it the hammer grip because we pretend the edge of the racket is the striking part of a hammer, and if you wanted to drive a nail or chop wood like an axe, this would be the most efficient way to strike the nail with the edge of the racket, and this is how you head towards the serve. Another story, we'll get to that in another video. But this Continental puts you in the hammer, the axe, the chopping grip. It puts the palm, most of the palm, over this edge of the racket. So you have more leverage. The way the wrist works, you have more range from here to there. So here, look at that range, look at that range, look at that range. Now if I turn to the Eastern grip, now the main palm is to the right side of the racket, just a 1/4 inch or a little bit more. What happens with the range? That's it. That's where it locks up. See, I'm putting my forearm straight, and right there, I cannot bend more than that. So this is not a 90-degree angle. This is weak. It's unstable. If I turn my grip to hammer, axe, chopper grip, put my forehand straight, range, range. So now I'm able to do past 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and less than 90 degrees. This 90 degrees is more stable. We have more strength over the racket, more stability. It's hard to show on video. You have to feel the difference. I could pretend, oh, look how weak. And like, oh, look, me, big, strong guy. You have to feel it for yourself. So I suggest making these marks, following the instructions I just gave. The V of the hand, just pretend it's a hammer, an axe. You're going to chop wood. Shake hands with the racket. You should be there, and then make your mark. And you'll be in the ballpark. And then make your mark for the forehand, like I explained, with the big palm knuckle. God forbid you have a semi-western, and it's even more of a difference. Semi-western volley grip. Oh, look at how the hand is totally to the side of this. You have no leverage on top of the racket. So if I'm in ready position, your racket strings are like this. So when the ball comes, you're like this, and you really have no leverage. So you're not going to get those reaction shots. You're not going to have leverage, and it's going to feel awkward. And this is why you hate the net, and this is why your volleys pop up, because they get caught here, or they go down on early runs because it's like that. You can't really use your arm to hit a proper volley. Hammer grip. Now you got proper volley. So leverage is a big key. Speed in volleys is key because the ball, you're close to the net. The ball's coming at you quicker, half the court, and you're going to need fast reaction sometimes. So why do I need stability? Because when the ball comes at me, I go forehand, and I just move to the side. Move to the side, or even just sticking my arm out like this. Notice my racket face is in a neutral position. The ball just needs to make contact, and it will go back over the net into the court. It won't fly up. It won't dive down. So all 100-mile-an-hour forehand coming at me, I just go boom. And with the stability of the racket, it's not gonna bully the racket and be weak. I'll have stability because my palm is over the edge of the racket, dominating. Backhand, no need to change the grip. Ball comes to me 100 miles an hour, I turn. Now, look at the racket face. Neutral position. Slightly open even. Ball has to do is hit it. It'll go right back. Even if it's a little down, a little up, but it's not popping up. And it's not falling down. So all that's needed is boom. Boom. From there, you could build on that to a proper volley. Now, let's say a 50-mile-an-hour ball comes towards you. You split, you turn, you step over into the shot. You don't bring the racket back. You hinge mostly on the joint here, your shoulder joint. Racket's in the right spot. You step in, bring hinge here, and hit across the heart. Swing through. Now, when I swing through here, notice my racket face. It's in the correct position all the way through the swing. So let's say I'm a little late on the ball and I catch it here. Still going to be a good volley. May not be the most powerful. If I'm right on time, I get a little swing. I get it out in front. I got maximum leverage right in the sweet spot. This volley is going to burst, pop, just blast right off my strings. Boom, maximum leverage. I continue to swing through. If I catch it super early and I wind up reaching, my racket face is still in a neutral position, in correct position to make the volley. I went through my power range here, maximum power, and now I lost efficiency, and at the end of my reach, it's not going to be the best volley, but it's still going to be successful volley. So, okay volley, best volley, okay volley. So you have all this range to make an okay volley. Eastern grip on the volley. Forehand volley comes. Does that look like this? Now it looks like this. Now if I'm late, where's my strings facing? It's facing out that way. So when I hit the ball, obviously it's going to go to the right. So right here, if I catch it late, it's going to be trouble. Inconsistent ball, out ball. If I catch it here, okay. Racket strings in the right place. A lot of players put a little wrist action. If they get this right and they make contact at that angle, it's going to be a nice volley, explosive. They're late. Look at where my racket face is pointing. Now we're looking at downward trajectory towards the net, probably error, or even boom, boom, out wide if I'm on the left side of the court. So with the forehand volley, your trajectory and chance of success is not so good. You only have one chance of hitting a good ball. It's in the optimum spot. This one, no, error, bad shot. This one, error, bad shot. So which would you rather have during your volley motion? 3 good chances of making the shot, or just 1 out of 3? Because that's why you're inconsistent, or people are inconsistent with forehand grips, even a mild Eastern forehand. God forbid you have semi-Western and you got all this mess going on. Backhand is even worse. Eastern grip, backhand. Again, my hands to the right of the grip. I have no leverage. Ready position, ball comes. I have no leverage, so now it's super weak. It's weak to the point where you're starting to put strain on your arm, and then you start compensating with your wrist. And this is going to lead to overuse errors, tennis elbow, wrist injuries, soreness, lots of bad things. The worst thing is crappy shots. Where's my face? Okay, where's my face? It's so weak. If I hit it here, even with the strength in the right position, it's from a position of weakness. I mean, it's like half the stability, so that it's going to get bullied by the ball. So then you might get the feeling that, oh, I have a weak backhand. Let me compensate by swinging. Now you're adding this motion. Now, instead of having a steady, stable racket face through the range of motion, like on the forehand, from here, I can make the volley. I can make the volley. I can make the volley. The head is steady in the right position. I can make the volley all through the range of motion. Now, when you start adding this because of the weakness, now this little motion is added anywhere within the strings towards contact. So if you're early, boom, into the net. If you're late, catching it like this, it's popping up high out. So you're just dramatically increasing your error rate big time. This is why people hate the net. I tell students, do you like the net? No. I say, well, let's fix that. Because the only reason they don't like the net is because they're not getting good results. The only reason they're not getting good results is because they do not buy into the system, or they were never explained why, and give them the feel of the difference between non-continental volley work and continental volley work. I feel once you set them right, you convince them, because as an instructor, you have to sell the idea to the student, give them a reason, show them, give them a feel, and then hopefully they buy into the concept that if they want to play great tennis, higher level tennis, have their arc of improvement steeply climb rather than stay steady or slow ascend, they have to buy into the system. So my job is to sell it, and hopefully I'm selling it to you by giving you the main reasons logically. If you don't believe me, go try it for yourself. So if you really want to take your tennis lessons and get value out of them, you're going to have to suffer through a progression. And tell your tennis coach, I'm sure he'll be excited to learn that you want to learn the real way to hit a volley, because they have a passion to teach. Sometimes they just phone it in because that's sometimes what the client wants. They just want to hit balls for entertainment. They want that attaboy pat on the back when you go hit that. They'll hit you a nice soft overhead in your range, and you go like this, boom. You felt like you done something, and the pro is like, oh God, this is horrible. I wish I was with a high-level junior or a strong adult giving a lesson, because that's where I enjoy my job. They're just phoning it in. They're clocking in the hours. You're paying for it. If that's what you want, fine. That's nothing wrong with that. But if you're expecting to progress to a higher level, you're not going to get it that way. And part of it, you have to be proactive with your pro and let them know the deal, that you want to advance and advance fast, and you want a pro level volley, and it's not impossible for any age and any level. So that's my advice. Hopefully this is something that you will practice at home, get the feel, have the racket by the chair while you're watching TV, spin it during the commercials, and check your feel, spin it around, find it, check it, find it, build muscle memory for that. By the time spring comes, you get out on the court, you have the ready position at the net, and you got the feel of the grip, and you'll have the right grip, and you'll be able to hit some volleys. Watch my volley video to see about swinging through, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and see you next time.